Back on Buffy, this is episode 20 of season 6. Yeah, here we go. This is quite something. Last 3 episodes of the season. And yeah, things are going to kick off, I think. Just a brief kind of thing beforehand. Had to turn the comments off again in the last reaction. Thank you to people on my Discord who said things have kind of escalated a bit again, and it's probably just safer to turn the comments off. Sucks, it's annoying, but there you go. So yeah, that's kind of happened again. Don't know how we're going to approach the rest of the season, even the series. I think they're going to try this time. We're going to put a filter on so every single comment has to be approved before it can be visible, which is a lot more of a faff, but it is what it is. Because some people just can't keep things to themselves, I guess. I mean, it's annoying, but there we are. So that's going to be how this is playing out, which is a shame, but never mind. And yeah, going into this episode, pretty nervous, given how the last one ended off. We had a big thing there with Spike and Buffy, and of course Tara at the end. And I don't want to watch this one because I could just be with the last one, I could be like, you know what, she's asleep. She's having a nap. It's fine. But I think this is going to confirm that to be false. And yeah, I don't like where it's headed. Unfortunately, full disclosure, I'm pretty sure Willow's going to be evil. And it wasn't even a comment on YouTube, it was a comment on Patreon this time. So that's good. I've got comments saying the trio aren't the big bad, and I'll see why, or something like that. And with that ending with Willow, I'm thinking, well, I think she's kind of lost her marbles a bit. So I have a feeling that's going to be where they're going with it, which is an exciting concept. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with it. But it's a shame if that's kind of how it's playing out, because even people on Patreon couldn't keep themselves to themselves. So there's no escape. I think I just need to stop reading comments on both the sites. I'm normally safe on Patreon, but what can you do? So full disclosure, because I always want to be honest in these reactions. But yeah, without further ado, let's just get into this next one. Oh man.
By Osiris, I command you, bring her back.
She is taken by natural order. It is done.
No.
There has to be a way.
It is done.
Well, you deserve that. You couldn't have been a bit less rude.
Warren, he had a gun. Warren, it went down too fast, I couldn't stop it.
I mean, if Willow wants to hunt Warren down, I'm kind of here for it.
Warren's gonna find a way to get us out of here.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll be busting us up in a minute.
I miss Ferris Matthew. Broadway Matthew, I find him cold. Really? No,
Shut up.
Yes, please do. Now's not the time.
It's real life. You two were setting me up, and then Warren was gonna screw you over too.
That is so not true.
Sure.
You literally said in the last episode.
Oh, he never cared.
Are you gonna buy the guy who killed the Slayer a drink?
What's that?
Oh, what a prick.
I've been heading an organization. The Trio. You've heard of us?
Unfortunately.
You're a dead man.
Please.
Where do you keep the black arts books?
Oh no.
Something terrible has happened, I know, but you don't have to do it. Power. Not with those books. I can't let you. Willow.
Oh shit. How fast can you read? Oh, very fucking fast. Not her hair.
That's better. The door was...
Oh no.
Alright, who's next?
I didn't even think about that.
The Trio. Yeah, you've heard of us.
Unfortunately.
Like a band or something?
I thought word traveled in the...
Ironic from
Yeah, we were
the guy who looks like the lead singer in Aerosmith.
I need protection. I've got the Slayer after me.
Slayer.
Whose fault's that? Warren.
It's just a matter of time before she finds you.
Take it. Got more bleeding.
VP is...
Oh shit.
What's happening?
On the plus side, they probably still have that gravestone handy, if all else fails.
Leave.
Willow.
Now.
Oh my god. Oh. It's come a long way from a pencil.
You gotta stop doing this. This time, funny, once, maybe twice.
Oh god.
Faster.
Going as fast as I can.
Faster.
Will, would you cut that out? You have to drive.
We need to stop.
Yeah, last time you were in the car and
I can feel him. And we'll catch him. And
it didn't end well.
Look, I'm finding the... Willow, wait! Stand up.
Fuck, I'm in front. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
Please. I'll do anything.
Oh, for... Warren! That little bitch.
Christ, well, how come you didn't say anything?
I'm busy. Willow, please stop.
Fuck.
We love you. And Tara. But we don't kill humans. It's not the way.
I mean, you nearly killed Faith for Angel.
And not what you must be.
The magic's too strong. There's no coming back from it.
I'm not coming back.
Oh, come
Please,
on.
we'll get through this together. We won't. Not your way. Please, just no. No more talking. It's done.
Now stop doing that to them. Okay, it's a terrible situation, but I'm loving this. Just putting it out there. I mean, I don't want this to be like a permanent fix, you know? Because this is wrong, but...
I want to leave her alone.
Oh my god, Dawn.
Sweetheart,
I thought she was going to stay there.
we need to get out of here, okay? Dawn, sweetheart. Be strong for me, okay? Dawn, we need to go downstairs.
Oh.
Warren's a dead man if she finds him.
Good. Dawn, don't say that. Why not? I'd do it myself if I could.
Oh shit.
Because you...
He's just as bad as any vampire you sent to Dustville.
Being a slayer doesn't give me
And he has a
license to
soul.
kill.
That's why Willow wants to kill him. Trouble is, Willow would kill Warren and still use magic, and that's where I draw the line.
They do.
She shouldn't carry on using it.
We can't control the universe. If we were supposed to, then the magic wouldn't change Willow the way it does.
That's true.
Warren's going to get what he deserves, I promise. But I will not let Willow destroy herself.
See, I get that as well.
Want to go to Spike's.
Surprise.
What? Not all right. Are you kidding? After what Spike did...
Yeah, Dawn doesn't know.
He won't hurt Dawn, okay? He physically can't. Besides, he wouldn't.
Well, after the other night, I'd say all bets are off for what he's capable of.
Dawn feels safe with him.
We could rent videos. I mean, I've been dying to see the wedding planner.
Either way, okay.
Oh, here. You can have a comfy chair.
Back as soon as I can.
Oh,
I promise. Okay.
at least we have some wholesomeness.
Thank you.
You did the finger painting. Nice work. Answer me.
Not quite Banksy, was it?
Bitch thinks she's better than me. Ever since I got this bleeding chip in my head, things ain't been right. Everything's gone to hell. And you want to return to your former self? Yeah. Bitch is gonna see a change.
She's seen enough of that, I think.
Feeling any change?
Tara.
Willow's out for blood big time. We need to find her before she finds Warren. You can...
Feel her. Her thirst for vengeance. It's overwhelming.
Is that like leftover from your vengeance demon days? Just censor?
Sure.
No.
When?
When do you think? Is everyone okay?
So, Willow's all wrathy. Why don't you go to her? Isn't that your gig?
Normally I'd have to.
It's now the time to be
She
sassy.
doesn't want me.
If you know where she is, you can help us.
Tara was her friend.
I'll help. But I'm helping Willow. She's close to him. He's in the woods.
We've come a long way if Anya wants to help Willow. Oh, God.
It's still fun.
Well, that's not going to kill her, but fuck.
Axe not gonna cut it.
Solid pun. Low budget golden snitch.
It wasn't personal. That's all.
All this is
Oh, God.
your tea.
Oh dear.
You were really asking for it, you know that?
Oh, fuck
I'm
off.
asking for it. She wasn't the first girl you killed.
I don't know what
No.
you're talking
Reveal. I should have strangled you in your sleep.
Shit.
Back when we shared a bed. You could have just let me go.
Hey, shut up. Make him go away.
It didn't have to be
No,
like
do you not
that.
like it when the tables are turned, Warren?
How could you say you loved me and do that to me?
Because you deserved it, bitch!
Oh.
I'll talk.
Oh. Oh.
What are you doing?
I think you need to. Feel it.
Oh, God, stop it!
It's not gonna make a neat little hole.
Ah.
First, it'll obliterate your internal organ.
Oh, please, stop, God! Please.
Fine,
I'll do anything.
Oh.
The pain will be unbearable, but you won't be able to move. Bullet usually travels.
Oh my God.
It ripped her insides out. Now the one person who should be here is gone. A waste like you gets to live.
You don't want this. You're not a bad person. Not like me.
And this isn't Willow.
I know you're in pain, but...
Bored now.
Oh, my God.
What did you do? Willow, what did you do?
Oh!
One down.
What the fuck? Okay, fantastic episode. Really, really love this one. Yeah, shit hit the fan, to say the least. What do you even say? I kind of did get a bit spoiled on Willow going a bit crazy. But regardless of that, I really like the idea of this story. I assumed there was going to be kind of a relapse eventually. I didn't think it would be kind of like, this scale. And in this way, because I didn't want them to kill Tara. But there we go. And yeah, it's this whole idea of her being like so, even more so consumed by magic than we already thought she had been earlier in the season, and with all like the black eyes, and she had a bit of a hair dye issue going on there. She went through a goth phase basically. She discovered My Chemical Romance. She thought, you know what, this is my jam. So that's her vibe at the minute. But my God, I love. It sounds twisted. I love that they've taken Willow to this place. I wish it wasn't at the expense of Tara dying, because we've kind of seen her go to this place before with last season when she went after Glory, when Tara, got all brain sucked and that whole deal. So the fact that now obviously Tara was murdered, it's really sent her over the edge. And I like how they've kind of set up this turn when it came to like Tara getting hurt, and how Willow affected that, and instantly just went straight back to magic. And not even just, oh, I'm going to use magic again. She went straight for the dark magic. She's like, I need to get this shit done. She's fully capable as it was just using regular magic. And that was a problem in itself, that she was so good at it. But the dark magic, we kind of saw her so successfully use it at the start of the season. It makes sense as we near the end that she's kind of getting it back again. And almost trying to use similar methods to bring Tara back. And then the floaty cloud face in the sky was like, nah mate, that's not happening. And yeah, Willow kind of screamed that away. And that was just, oh, that was so sad, like a natural death, like it's a natural human death, so it's not the same thing. So Willow kind of, yeah, she's gone straight back to the magic, and that's, you know, we don't have Tara around to kind of balance her out a bit more and keep her on the straight and narrow. So yeah, when you fall, you really fall, I guess. But I love the idea behind it. I just wish it didn't have to come with them killing Tara off, because that really does suck. Turns out she's not having a nap, she's dead. Who'd have thought it? But I'm also nervous, because what if they can't get her back and they have to kill her? I don't want to think about that possibility, because I'd be so beyond done. You can't kill Tara and then like a couple of episodes later and they're going to kill Willow. I don't know. I don't think they're going to. I don't think they'll go there. Hopefully they can bring her back. Because that's what Tara would want for her. You know, she wouldn't want Willow to be at all consumed by this magic. It's already happened, so not great. But I'm hoping, you know, Buffy and Xander could kind of come up with something to kind of talk her down. Maybe even Anya could say something, you know, using her gained vengeance demon knowledge. She can really feel what Willow's kind of feeling, that vengeance. She can talk her down from it if she truly understands it, like Anya does, because she's experienced and dealt with so much vengeance in her entire life, and now she's kind of gained those powers back, becoming a vengeance demon again. I like how they've kind of used her becoming the vengeance demon again, to like help track Willow down. I really liked that. I thought it was a clever way of bringing Anya back into the main plot, but also having a few kind of nice character moments in there, and it kind of made sense to bring her into that. The fact that she's like, I'm doing this for Willow, shows how far those two have come and how much Anya really does, kind of has grown to like Willow now, which is very wholesome. And so I liked how that kind of all came back into it. And yeah, maybe that could be a way of talking her down and just coming up with all these reasons as to why they don't need to kill her, because they don't want her to die, basically, and that's not really a surprise to people. But yeah, I do think it's a fascinating story. I do love seeing evil versions of my favourite characters. Although I wouldn't say Willow's evil, misguided maybe. I mean, she could easily go evil. I mean, she's not particularly great at the moment, is she? But we had at the start of the season that scene with her and the deer, and she was dressed all in white and everything, and she's like, Pfft. So, you know, she's never really been the representative of innocence, I suppose. Even in season 3, the whole thing with her and Xander, you know, I did not like her for that. I was not very happy with that. But all those flaws that we've seen Willow have, they've developed over time, and this addiction to magic and everything in this season. Goddamn Amy. Goddamn it, Amy. And now this, it's... Yeah, and, you know, this whole episode she was saying, need to find Warren. It's all about Warren. And then she killed Warren, which we will get onto. But then she's like one down, so I'm assuming she's going to go after the other two people in the trio. I don't know if they quite deserve it in the way I feel like Warren did. I think I'd have been okay with it. It sounds twisted. I'd have been okay with it if she like killed Warren and then it was like, okay, I'm done, back to normal. But obviously that's not how addiction works, not how magic works. Now she's back, it's fully crazy. And, you know, her using the spell on Anya to keep her safe, like keeping her still, using her spells and stuff on Xander and Buffy is like, no. That I don't agree with at all. And I understand that she kind of went off the handle after Tara dies and wants to hunt Warren down. And he's a souled being who did terrible things, and they just acted like they didn't happen as well. The whole thing with Katrina, I like that he was kind of taunted with the vision of her. That was really good, and she was kind of telling him the truth. You know, you're just a scared little boy and just a weak little boy, and he's so kind of determined to just. He wants to appear as like this strong, powerful man because he knows deep down he really isn't, and he's very insecure about that. I think it would have been interesting to see Warren's parents at some point, but at the same time I don't particularly care enough to have wanted to see any more Warren than we got. Honestly, I'm over the fucking moon he's dead. Willow went about it in completely the wrong way, for sure. And I get where Buffy's trying to come from, you know, Willow would lose herself if she did kill Warren. I get that, and like, oh, we don't kill humans. Do you remember that time you ran Faith through with that dagger, Buffy, to try and save Angel? I guess not. I know she kind of learned from that, and Faith didn't actually die, but she went out to kill her. But I guess that's why she doesn't have this stance anymore. You know, that's why she has this stance, and they can't abuse that power and kill humans. But yeah, I get where she's coming from with that. But you can't also... It's odd. I completely get where Willow's coming from in terms of wanting revenge. She's definitely gone about it in completely the wrong way. She shouldn't have fallen back on magic. But yeah, it's a slippery slope, and maybe she could have used magic to like hunt him down or track him, whatever, but maybe in terms of serving justice it probably wasn't the right thing to do, to then use magic on actually killing him or whatever. Just to make sure you capture him, use magic if you have to, fine. Or maybe if Willow hadn't already gone off the handle before, then it would have been fine to use it here, but she shouldn't have started magic again, basically. But that's kind of Willow's weakness, and it took something huge like this for her to go off the wagon again, and if Tara hadn't died, I think Willow would never have used magic again. But that's not how life works, that's not how Season 6 works, because everyone must suffer all the time. But yeah, I do think it's a very fascinating story with Willow right now. I miss the red hair. I miss it. I won't lie. That was the saddest death. The true saddest death was Willow's red hair. But yeah, it makes sense because they're representing. This is not the Willow we've seen before. This is someone completely new. This is a different side of Willow that's kind of been buried deep down. I think for a long time it's kind of been, that side of Willow's been in there, but it's not the Willow we know and love. That's why they've, you know, made her so demonic looking and had the black hair now, because you think of Willow, one of the first things I think of personally is obviously the red hair. That's kind of a big part of, you know, who the character looks like, and if you were to draw Willow, you know, you're not going to make her blonde, are you? So it's like, well, this isn't Willow, this isn't the Willow we know, this has been born out of an awful, tragic situation, and I'm still mad about it. I'm still pissed about Tara dying. So of course Willow would be too, because she's in love with Tara. Makes sense. So yeah, showing just how far gone Willow is. But, you know, she got very cocky at the start of the season when she brought Buffy back. I think that made her think, oh wow, I can really do all this dark magic stuff, that's good. And, you know, Amy and what's-his-face, the guy, lead singer of Aerosmith looking guy, I can't remember what his name was, we've seen him a few times, and in this episode he didn't help the situation either. Feeding the addiction, because that's how he makes his money. And it's just a spiral, and this is the awful, awful consequence of that. But I do think it's a very interesting story. As much as it sucks to see Willow suffering and all that this season, I've loved how much they've tested her. And while I think it's boring for like relationships and couples to be tested on TV shows most of the time, I do think it's not boring to test the characters and your love of them. Because I can kind of see how Willow's kind of gone down this path, and she's lost her way for sure. I don't think the character's lost her way, if that makes sense. Just in my opinion anyway. Because I know some people didn't like the whole addiction thing they did with her this season, which is fair. Just like I didn't like the Xander and Willow kind of affair thing in season 3. So yeah, really intrigued but also very scared to see where they're going to go with this. But my god, it made some really kind of intense stuff. That whole thing when she like sewed up Warren's mouth and then she like tore his skin off. I was like, ooh. And she said bored now, like Vampire Willow. That was cool. Again, another version of Willow who's not the Willow we know. So that shows how far removed Willow has become from, you know, the one we normally know and love. Even bringing in like a Vampire Willow quote into it. That was great. So yeah, fascinated to see what they're going to do with this. Also very scared that they might have to kill her. It feels very Dark Phoenix-esque, even with the red hair. There you go. Very Jean Grey X-Men, Dark Phoenix kind of storyline. And I love that storyline as well. So that's probably why I'm really on board with this kind of story. As long as it doesn't end with Willow dead, I will sob. Hopefully not though, but I do really like how this is all played out, and maybe Warren didn't quite deserve that. Maybe. He deserves it a lot fucking more than most of the characters on the show, that's for sure, who've suffered awful fates. And I'm glad he's dead. He's an arsehole, he was a douche. I've made my feelings about him remarkably clear. And yeah, that was quite something, when she like pushing the bullet into him really slowly, and just like how he killed Tara, and the fact that it was an accident. He was trying to explain that, but at the end, you know, he just wanted to save his own, ironically, he wanted to save his own skin. That's kind of funny. Oh no, that's really bad. But yeah, he wanted to save his own skin at the end there. Oh, you're right, I need to suffer, I need jail, because he just didn't want to die. Because he showed his true cowardly self there in his final moments. But yeah, glad he's dead. Maybe not the best way of going about it. Maybe use magic to capture him and get justice in that way, maybe not to just execute him. But at the same time, I can understand why Willow would want to do that. I can understand why Buffy wouldn't want Willow to do that, and Xander and obviously everyone didn't want that either. And Dawn was like, yeah, let's kill him, I do it myself. Again, she's very young. Buffy's often tried to keep her outside of situations like this. And they even showed that again in the fact that, you know, she wanted to go and stay with Spike, because she doesn't exactly know what he did in the last episode either. So she's very much on the outside of like the true horrors of what is going on a lot of the time. So we continue to kind of show that in this one, and I think that's why she just so cleanly wanted, like, oh yeah, let's just let Willow kill him, because she, you know, she loves Tara as well, and she was kind of a mother figure for her, especially when Buffy was dead. That scene where she finds Tara's body and she stays with her all that time. Oh man, that was heartbreaking. That was really rough. I'm glad they didn't skip out on like the emotional moments. Even like the look on Anya's face when she was like, I know about Tara. Like, oh god. I like that, you know, however brief it was, I did like that the characters had some brief time to mourn and realise what was going on. You know, Xander's face when he walked in and saw Tara on the floor there. Buffy's reaction to seeing the body as well. It was just, oh, poor Tara. Justice for Tara. I'm sure that's a hashtag. So yeah, it's just a bizarre escalation of the events this season, and I am very, very intrigued to see where they're going to go with it. Also very nervous, but my god, some of that stuff that Willow was doing, great to watch. Also horrible to watch, because I don't want to see this, if you get what I mean. But I do think it's a very fascinating story that I'm very intrigued to see the conclusion of, and to see where they take it. Especially because we still have 2 episodes left, so I feel like things could get even worse from here with Willow, maybe, because you know, she spoke for the whole episode about finding Warren. That was what she wanted. She got that, and oh, actually, I might as well kill the other 2 now, because she's got that taste for power and the dark magic and everything. So things are going to get worse, I think. So we'll see what happens with all of that. And yeah, Buffy and Xander trying to, you know, plead to Willow to change her mind about, you know, the way she was going about things, and saying that this is the wrong way to get her vengeance and whatever, bringing Anya into the mix, continuing to be kind of supportive friends. I'm glad that Buffy's okay, by the way. Willow kind of managed to heal her, but not Tara, unfortunately. But yeah, another interesting sequence there where she just bursts in to all the doctors operating on Buffy and like, leave. Okay. It oddly reminded me of the scene, this is a very odd comparison, it gave me vibes of that scene in Spider-Man 2, with all the doctors and stuff trying to cut off Dr. Octopus's arms, and then the arms come to life and like kill them all. I got vibes from that, and I think that kind of says it all about how Willow was feeling. I don't know why I've just compared Willow to Dr. Octopus's arms, but I somehow managed to get it in there. That's the thing, you know, that's why people come to these videos, for stupid comparisons like that. But yeah, I enjoyed the Buffy and Xander trying to make Willow see sense. And of course it wasn't going to work, especially this time around, because we still have 2 episodes of the season left. But I will be fascinated to see what their next step is. Now they've seen what Willow just did to Warren at the end. Where the fuck do you go next? Like, what on earth are you going to do now? I'd like to see them tell Dawn about that, that's for sure. Are they going to go into detail about that? But yeah, Warren's been, well, yeah, his skin ripped off and then he went all crispy and burnt. So bye, bitch. He deserved it, but maybe not quite to that extent, but at the same time, it was kind of joyous. I did kind of like it. But I didn't like that, you know, it had to come to this point. But that's kind of the relapse story they're going for, I suppose. So yeah, everything that was cool, and obviously Anya's role, I like that they used her vengeance demon powers to track Willow down, and that's how they found her, bringing Anya. It's a very nice way of bringing Anya back into like the main group and the main action, even though she's kind of broken up with one of like the main characters now. You know, it's what they kind of failed to do with Cordelia, I think, after her and Xander broke up in season 3. So that was really well done. I actually really thought that worked well. And her doing it for Willow, wholesome stuff. And then yeah, we saw briefly a bit of Andrew and Jonathan. I could have done without those scenes, to be honest. I don't need to see them again. But it was mainly because they just backtracked on... His name is Andrew, isn't it? This is terrible. His brother is Tucker. And he's Andrew. I hate that I've fallen into this trap every single time of like falling into the joke. I'm pretty sure it's Andrew. It's Andrew. Andrew. You know, last episode he was like, oh god, Warren never cared about me. You know, he's doing all for himself. I was like, yeah, finally. And this episode he's back on the same bullshit. Oh no, you know, he'll come for us. I'm like, you give him a bit of character development, you instantly go back on it. Like, what the fuck? So that was a bit annoying. But I did like Jonathan kind of standing his ground saying, you know, for God's sake, he's not coming to get us. And then we had that all that stupid bloody thing with Warren walking into the bar, all the vampires, I killed the Slayer, huh? Fuck you. God, I'm so glad he's dead. But yeah, I suppose we needed to check in with those two after they've been arrested and stuff like that. And we'll see what happens with those two. Hopefully they just go to jail and that's that. But at least we had Jonathan kind of come to his senses a bit. When they started talking about another geeky thing, I was like, this is so out of place for me. This is not the time for this. You were just talking about going to jail and everything. And the fact that people had just died. And then they were making another nerd reference. And I get it. I'm a big fucking nerd. But, I don't know, that felt very off to me. But that's kind of that's their shtick. So, it just hasn't gelled with me this season, I guess. But we checked in with them. I'm glad we've got a bit of wholesomeness with Clem. Kind of looking after the place for Spike and allowing Dawn to stay with him anyway. It was good to have a bit of levity there because Clem's actually a very wholesome guy, and I like that they do show a few like good demons in the Buffyverse. So that was cool. He brought a bit more levity to the situation there. And I love the next episode to just be him and Dawn like chilling out watching some TV. That'd be fine. Instead of all the pain with Willow and Tara and everything. But I don't think they're going to go down that route. But it's a good way of kind of keeping Dawn away from everything, I guess, that's going on. And the fact that she wanted to go to Spike allows them to kind of bring up what happened in the last episode again. Like Xander was like, no, that's not happening. Completely done with Spike altogether. I feel like Buffy should have been against it as well. I guess she wanted Dawn's best interests at heart because obviously Dawn doesn't know what Spike tried to do. But she was just like, oh, yeah, it's fine. She feels safe with Spike. I was like, well, there's a time where you couldn't resist hanging around with Spike. Look where that fucking ended up. That just seemed a bit like... I feel like you'd be just even a bit wary. And even if you were to allow it, I don't think she'd go and take Dawn there knowing that Spike would be there, or at least she thought Spike was going to be there. I feel like she'd at least like convince Xander to take her or something, or whatever. That felt a bit odd, but Buffy's a lot stronger than me, and you know, inside and out. So maybe she could have just taken it, and she's kind of, there were bigger things going on, I guess. But at the same time, that's ignoring what she went through, and you shouldn't be doing that. So I guess she's handled a lot this season, obviously. So maybe that's kind of what it is. She can handle a lot. And yeah, we also had stuff with Spike, and he's gone off to do a bit of a questy thing. He's basically got a side quest storyline. Don't know where they're going with it. I'd have happily not have seen Spike in this episode. Honestly, I feel like we didn't need to see Spike in this one. I needed an episode off from him, I think, because I don't think I can get past what he did in the last one. But he's talking about, things are going to change. He saw this weird demon guy, and he wants to be who he used to be. I don't know exactly what that means and what that entails. I don't know. Based on his reaction when he realised what he was doing in the last episode, he clearly showed a lot of regret for it. So I don't think he's just going to be like, oh, I'm going to play the monster now because that's how she sees me. I'm just going to go back to being who I used to be. I felt there's more to it than that. Maybe he wants to be made like fully good or something. Maybe who he used to be could be William, if he wants to talk about that. But would he want to just be like a poet again? I don't know. That would be bizarre if he just shows up and says that again. He's just his poet self. He's just William again. I wrote you a poem to apologise, my lady. And I'd be like, push him into a lake. So I don't know where they're going to go with that. But I just don't think I was ready to see Spike again. So I wasn't willing to get invested in those scenes. I'm just like, not now, Spike, fuck off. Maybe in the next episode I could have done it. But there's some intriguing stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing what his mission is. And they're trying to make him out to be all evil and stuff. But the big thing this season is, you know, how far has he gone? You know, there's been arguments for saying, well, this is who he really is. It's also been like, oh, but he's changed a bit since the chip, blah, blah, blah. So I don't think it's just as black and white as they're trying to present it out as, I guess, what he's trying to do. I don't think it's just like, oh, I'm going to be fully evil again, and I'm going to be a villain again. I don't think that's what they're going for, but I don't quite know what their plans are for it. So we'll see what happens. We'll see. But I could have done without the Spike stuff, because I just didn't want to see him. But yeah, it is what it is, and it is intriguing. But yeah, overall, a very, very good episode. Definitely flew by, and that ending was kind of crazy and brutal with Warren. But I love the idea of like an evil Willow. I do think that's kind of cool as a story, very Dark Phoenix-esque, but it does make me worried about how they're going to have to stop her. We'll see. But I also don't want to see. But yeah, that was nuts. But yeah, quite something. I don't quite know how to say what I'm feeling. It's a very difficult season to talk about, I'm finding. I've been watching a few clips back of like my after show thoughts, and I'm just like, oh god, what the fuck are you talking about? Just a lot of me going, yeah, that's interesting. But again, I'll try and properly talk about it when / if I get to my season 6 review. So I'm still not quite sure after the craziness of the last few episodes and what's gone on and stuff, and I'm not sure I even want to do a season 6 review right now. I probably will, so I'm definitely in a better spot than I was when I posted those last few reactions, but we'll see, yeah. Crazy tough, crazy times. This season, man, it's been quite something. And yeah, this review is going to be quite crazy. Anyway, I can feel myself talking more and more shit, so I think I'm just going to end it there. But yeah, amazing episode. Very intrigued to see where they're going to take all these different kind of things. And we'll see where they go with the next 2 episodes. I'm very excited to finish off this season, because I think it's been a really great season, honestly. I think it does divide a lot of parts of the fandom from what I've been hearing, especially the last episode, which makes a lot of sense, given some of the actions in the last one. But yeah, hopefully they can really bring it home, because I do think it's been a very, very solid season overall. And yeah, very excited for the next 2 episodes, also very nervous for them, but that kind of goes without saying when it comes to Buffy. And then, yeah, we have 24 episodes of Buffy left. Ugh. what is going on, what is happening. But there we have it. That was that. Insane episode. Here for the evil Willow kind of thing. Because I do think it's a really great story, and hopefully that takes up a lot of chunk of these last 2 episodes. I feel like it will. Because if the trio aren't the big bad apparently, then I imagine it's going to be Willow. So we'll see what happens with that, and I think it's a very intriguing concept. I just wish it didn't cost Tava's life to get to this point. You know, I feel like maybe something else could have happened. But it is what it is. Great episode. And yeah, my next reaction obviously in the cycle, we're going to be finishing off this season. But I may get time during the day tomorrow to record episode 21. I don't know for sure, no promises. Because obviously tomorrow night will also be Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the 100 that I need to watch, so those are going to be the priorities because they're live airing shows. But yeah, probably within the next 4 or 5 days we'll have finished off this season, which is going to be exciting. And yeah, hopefully you're excited for that. And until my next reaction, thanks for watching.